this is the last strategy that we did in class on elimination, finding the point of intersection. Elimination is great when you have two lines that are in standard form like this one and you can see a zero pair. So elimination, usually we add, you can subtract if you need to as well, but usually we add up and we're looking for something that's going to turn to 0. So for this one here, you can see the negative 4x and 4x. When I add those together, I get 0x. So if you see a zero pair, that's just probably definitely the best strategy that you want to take as far as a method of solving your systems. So this would just be 0x, and then we would add all the y's with the other y's. So negative 2y and 8y is 6y. And when I add these together, I get negative 36. And of course, just divide by 6, you get negative 6 is your y value. So you're going to take this again, just like on the substitution, and you're going to plug it in for either here or here. I'm going to plug it in here just because it's positive. So I get, let me make sure I'm on the screen, 4x plus 8 times negative 6. And then when I multiply those together, you get a negative 48. I'm going to add 48 to both sides. So the order pair for this one is 6, negative 6. So if there's an easy zero pair like that, that's pretty fast, easy to knock out. You might get one where there is no zero pair, and in that case you can make one. There's really kind of two options here. I can multiply the top equation. Right now I have 5x and 10x. I can multiply this by negative 2 to get negative 10. Or I can multiply this by this equation by 7. Just to keep the signs the same, I'm going to multiply this by 7 so I don't have to worry about rewriting my signs. And you get, let's see, 35x plus 7y equals 63. And then you would add up your signs from there. So that would be 45x equals positive 45. And therefore x is 1. You just want to make sure that when you alter an equation that when you're adding them up, you add it to what the one was that you didn't alter, that you have both of your equations represented. And then when you plug this in, you want to plug it in to either here or here, one of the original ones. So I'll plug it in the first one just because it's smaller. So 5 times 1 plus y equals 9, minus 5 on both sides, and you get 4. So that would be your order pair for that one. Now, if you have a problem where there's no zero pairs at all to be made, like these two here, you can create your own. You're just going to have to alter both equations. So let's see. You could multiply this by negative 4 and this by 7. Or you could multiply this by 4 and negative 7, or this by 9. It kind of just depends on what you want to cancel out. Because I have a minus 8 and a plus 9, I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by 9 to get a 72y. This is a little crazy. Alright, so, and then I'm going to multiply the second equation by 8. In that way, you end up getting your y's to cancel out. So the first equation, when I multiply it by 9, would be negative 63x minus 72y, 81. And then the other one would be negative 32x plus 72y equals, let's see, that's like negative 20. So negative 160, negative 176. And then when you add these up here, negative 95x would equal, probably not 95. And so x would equal 1. And then again, you would just plug it back into the original equation in order to get the same thing, to get your whole order pair. Now, if they're not in standard form, like these two here are easy to graph. but if you wanted to do elimination, as long as the x's are on the same side and the y's are on the same side, you can add them together. So right now, if I added, I would get 2y equals 3x plus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this equation by -1. You could multiply the other equation by -1, but then I'll get -y equals x plus 2. And now you can go ahead and add them up. And this would be y negative y, which is 0, 4x and x, which is 5x, and then plus 5. And now you just have a two-step equation, so you minus 5. It's a lot of ones on this paper. So this would be -1, so you could plug this back in up here. I would just plug it into the one that's right here. A -1's a 1, so this would be 1 minus 2, so y would also be -1. So your order pair would be -1, 1. Okay. Thank you.